Welcome back to this edition of the Tweet Show podcast as we are going to recap the national championship game between the Michigan Wolverines and the UConn Huskies, as the Michigan Wolverines have won the national championship, beating UConn 69-63, in which was one of the more ugly, gross, muck-up games you will ever see in a national championship game ever. It was truly one of those games where you're just like, gosh, this game's just ugly. A lot of missed shots, a lot of physicality, just you name it. This was sort of like a old school type of feel. I wouldn't say really old school, because like the people were just simply missing shots. And I do think main reasoning was because of Michigan's length and size was the reasoning why UConn is missing so many shots. Michigan only made 2 threes for only attempting 13 or 15 of them? Yeah, there were 2 of 15. Oh, that was crazy. But anyways, I'm going to get some more context here before I kind of analyze the game here. This is Michigan's first title since 1989. They've been to multiple national championship games, but just never get over that hump until now. This is the first Big Ten title for the conference since 2000, when Michigan State won it in 2000. Because I can't remember all the teams that have participated in a national championship game. I think Indiana did one. I know Wisconsin, Michigan at least twice. Who am I missing? I feel like I'm missing one. Indiana, Michigan twice, Wisconsin, and I feel like there's another one in there. Yeah. Oh, Ohio State. Yeah. So there's been a couple chances for the Big Ten to win a national championship, but obviously they just could never get over the hump until last night as Michigan defeated UConn. So now we can get sort of into the analyzing parts and how Michigan won. How Michigan won is basically they were simply a more physical team. Their defense was just elite, and they kind of made UConn take some really tough shots. But also at the same time, UConn had some open shots as well. They just couldn't make them. And I do think there was something wrong with the one rim on UConn's side near its bench, where I didn't hardly see any threes go in for that particular basket until maybe 4 minutes left. I think UConn finally made its first three on that side of the basket. I think prior to that they were 0 for 8 or 0 for 9. Something was wrong with that basket. But like I said, Michigan didn't make any threes on that side of the basket either until they went to the other side and made 2. But it was just something was off with that basket. I wanted an investigation on that basket. But anyways, yeah, like I said, I was kind of rooting for UConn just because I didn't really want a Big Ten team to win the national championship, but I didn't really care who won. I didn't really have a dog in the fight. I wish both teams would have lost. That would have been nice, but you can't have that happen, so you got to have somebody win. If you told me I had to pick somebody, I would have, like I said, I was rooting for UConn just because not really a big fan of Michigan, but anyways, like I said, it was just a really ugly game. Neither team's star player played all that well. Linderbaum didn't play all that well. He played for majority of the game. He was quote unquote dealing with an injury, but it's a national championship game. It's the last game of his career. He's gonna play, but I felt like he was kind of sort of a liability at times, just a little bit, just because of I don't remember the exact diagnosis, but it was basically some type of an ankle injury, but I didn't think he played all that well because he was 4 from the field and he was 0 for 5 from 3. I mean, he only got two rebounds. Sure, he got he had 1 block and all that, but I just thought he wasn't really the main reasoning why they won. I think the main reason why Michigan won was just because of the defense and how physical they were to UConn. Cadeau was, and Johnson, I think, were sort of one of the main reasons why Michigan ended up winning, but I wouldn't say it's because of Cadeau's scoring. I mean, he did okay scoring, but it's when I think of Cadeau, I think of more of his impact on the assists or rebounding, because I think that was the main reason why they won against Arizona, was because of his assists and rebounding. But I mean, yeah, Mar, you know what? Something about Mar, he is such a cheat code. I don't know why he doesn't average any more points. I don't get why he doesn't just get down the block. I feel like if he just gets down more in the block, he could just literally score anytime he want. I feel like he needed to be a little bit more like a Zach Edey type of person, but I guess that's not really much of his game, I guess. So I don't know. I felt like he could have been able to score at pretty much at will, because he was 4 of 7. So I mean, he wasn't shooting terribly. He just never really got the ball, I felt like. He never wasn't really aggressive enough to like go score. But yet again, I'm not too familiar with his game. Like I watch the games and I'm like, why don't they just give him the ball more? But Michigan's so deep, they can just pick anyone they want and say, hey, here's the ball. It's your turn to go score the basket or something like that. So that was sort of my take on that. But like I said, this was just like a really ugly basketball game to watch, really. I thought neither team really played all that well. Like I thought for how great of Michigan has played, like the four games beforehand, or the 5 games beforehand, I should say, they were scoring in the 90s. They scored 69-9. Now, granted, you got to give UConn some credit because they were trying to. I think this was sort of the type of the game they wanted to play. They wanted to muck it up, slow it down, play at their tempo. Because I think they can go up and down a little. I think they're willing to go up and down the court, but like I think that would have been sort of advantage for Michigan because I think Michigan can basically play any type of style of basketball they want. It just depends on how you want to play it. Cause there were plenty of times this year Michigan would play, up to the competition. And sometimes there would be a couple games where they kind of would to play down to the level, but other times they would just crush teams. Because there was one game against Penn State, they only won by 2 points or something like that, and that was that's an interesting result. But it doesn't really matter because Michigan ended up being the national championship, so you don't really look at that result and go, oh, that was something to look at. But on the UConn side of things, I thought they had the right mindset. Like I said, there were just so many missed opportunities. Like at the very end, so solo ball banks into 3 to cut it within 6, I think. There was a bank 3 he made. I think if they get it down within 6, and then they get a steal, Terrence Reed, or somebody gets the tip. The ball was tipped at some point, and then Terrence Reed grabs the ball, and then he gives it to Solo Ball, and then Solo Ball just happens to miss the layup. Because if he would have made the layup, it would have been at least a 4 or 3 point game, and then things would have made it interesting. Let's look at that sequence real quick. Let's go look at that sequence. Okay, here we go. Play by play. Now I gotta go all the way down to the very end of the game here for that sequence. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Gosh, I gotta go all the way down. Here we go. Okay, so if we get to, let's see, where is the Solo Ball? Okay, so Solo makes it 3 with 37 seconds left, which makes the score 76-63. 4-point game, right? And then, or no, it's a 5-point game. 5-point game. Or no, wait. Why can't I do some simple math? Holy shit. Yeah, it's a 4-point fucking game. Okay, 4-point game. Gales misses the first free throw, but makes the second, I believe. Or no, did he miss both? I think he missed both. Yeah, he missed both. Still a 4-point game. Caravan misses a 3, but then they get the rebound. They foul, but then they don't have to go to the free throws just yet. Am I crazy? Where's the Caravan, or where's the Solo Ball miss? Okay, so I guess let's just keep following along here. Okay, so miss a second, miss a 3, the foul. It goes to the free throw line, makes the first, and then he makes the second. Yeah, makes the second. So now it's a 6-point game. Missed a field goal, but then there's a steal. Oh wait, no, where does that sequence happen? Where's the sequence of Solo Ball of Solo missing the layup? I gotta find the missed layup here. Where's the darn missed layup? This is gonna kill me. Was it that far up? No. Sub it in. Okay, let's start from here. The Solo Ball miss is gonna kill me. Okay. Caravan misses a 3, turnover. Oh, here we go. Okay, yeah, so Caravan misses a 3 here. Gales gets somebody gets the rebound. They turn it over, but then Terrence Reed steals it. Solo Ball at the 2:02 minute mark misses a layup. Which would have cut it down to what was the score at that time? Gosh, I need to move this stupid thing out of the way. Here we go. Because then it would have made it 58-65 with there was about 2 minutes left. So I mean, even if they because then as soon as he misses that layup, that's when McKinney makes the 3, and that's like a 5-point swing right there, basically. So like I said, there was just so many missed opportunities for UConn to win this game, but you got to give Michigan credit, I think. Just how physical they were, the defense that it was elite all year, and their length, I think, was also a factor in this game as well. So you got to give credit to UConn and this great run that they had in the tournament. This was actually their first ever loss in the national championship game. They were 6-0 prior to last night, Obviously tonight or last night, what ends up being the first ever UConn loss in the national championship game. So let's see. Is there anything else I should talk about at this game? Let's see. And I got to scroll back up because like on the more side of the UConn things, I thought that Caravan and Mullins didn't really shoot the ball that well. They were both like 6 of 20 from three this last night. I feel like if they would have been able to both, if let's say Caravan was like 6 of 10 and Mullins was at least made one more three, then I think UConn definitely would have been able to win this game for sure. Like I just think there was so many. I do think they took a lot of tough shots just because of Michigan, but I also think they had some great opportunities at some open looks they just didn't knock down. So it's the old saying in the NBA, it's a miss or miss league. And last night they just simply just missed. There wasn't enough makes for them to come back and win this time. And there were some moments there where like, oh, this is the moment. This is where UConn's gonna pull out the rabbit out of the hat. They're gonna do it again. They're gonna find some magical way to beat Michigan, just like how they sort of beat Duke in the Elite Eight. But Michigan hold on, and they were simply just a better team that night. So anything else I want to kind of point out as well as in this game? I guess this is sort of related to college basketball, as the transfer portal has officially opened here for college basketball teams and players. So every basketball team right now is looking at the portal and trying to contact the players they want to talk to and see if they can get them to come on their team as well. So let's look at to see what the latest portal looking like here. Let's look at some like portals and see who's at the top. Let's look at just the top 10 teams right here. They got Foray, Mananga. You got John Blackwell, Jake Harris, this guy, Miles Bird, Isaiah Johnson, Stefan Vask, Jackson Shields, Stausch, Dean Thomas Jr., I believe that's how you pronounce it, and then KJ Lewis. That's sort of like your top 10 players to look out for so far as of right now. And obviously, things can change as of 12:20 at this specific time here. Anything else I want to mention about this game or anything else? I think that's going to be pretty much it. Like I said, this was going to be about a 15 to 20 minute recap of the national championship game. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel because you're most likely going to find this recap on there. And also make sure you subscribe to the podcast or the audio version of this podcast as well. And make sure you tell your friends, tell your family members all about this great, wonderful podcast. I will see you guys probably, or at least get a podcast, or at least a more typical normal show. This will be, I might get one out most likely Thursday. I'll probably do some recording on Wednesday, but most likely Thursday. Sometime on Thursday, I'll have an episode out for you guys. So with that being said, I will see you guys next time.